Hello and welcome to Metra AVTechTips Solutions. I'm Brent.
I'm Adam.
So what do we got today, Adam?
Well, today we are going to be talking about the HDM-JR3.
Why?
Well, this last Wednesday we just had an episode on source devices.
Is that the one where I went sideways?
Yeah, a little bit. And so today I wanted to talk about, of course, Fridays we talk about the different devices that we sell, specifically that correlate to whatever we talked about on our Wednesday show. And so today we are talking about the JR3 because this tool that we have developed, or you have developed, in fact, is it's a great tool for fixing source device EDID problems.
Oh, there's that word again, source.
Source. Yeah, exactly. Yep. So, all that to say, so today,
Well, I'm going to put you on the spot. Tell me what the HDM-JR3 does.
Okay. So, the HDM-JR3 does quite a bit, and what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to give myself a top-down shot so you all can see this unit here. So this unit here, the HDM-JR3, is the it strips capacitive loading off the DDC or the EDID bus or the EDID
Which
channel.
is the same bus.
Yep. It's just another word for it, correct?
Yes.
It reduces the data rise time and improves the consistency and reliability of low-speed communications. Brent, where did I pull that from?
Gee, I don't know. Something I wrote in 2007.
Pulled it right off the...
But that's not all it does.
No, correct. Brent, fill me in a little bit more on what it does.
It also helps for kaleidoscapes.
Yes.
And we're going to cover that in a little bit, but it is a great tool to solve a lot of problems that you run into in the field. In fact, legitimately, this is probably 80% of the things you need to fix basic HDMI problems in the field.
Yes, correct.
Now, the very first thing you mentioned is stripping capacitive loading.
Yep.
Now, what is capacitive loading?
Well, capacitive loading is basically just where you're building up a charge on the actual conductor itself, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And what is a capacitor?
A capacitor is a device or a little thing that's on the board.
It's a battery.
It's a battery, right? It builds up a charge.
Yes, and they hold charge. Now, when you hold charge, it slows things down.
Yes.
Now, what's really nice about, in fact, last week when we covered RS-232, we mentioned this because basically EDID is RS-232.
Correct.
So inside of any digital device, there is a clock.
Yep.
And that clock's ticking away. Now, when that clock strikes, data has to be in a position high or low. It doesn't matter which. The clock doesn't care.
Correct.
The data is red, hopefully.
Yep.
However, if the data is somewhere between high and low when that clock strikes, it's ignored.
Yep. It's as if it doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist. And when this happens enough, the system stops. It collapses.
Now, what does that look like? Does that look like a black screen?
HDMI actually has an idiot light from your car dashboard built into it.
Okay.
What is that idiot light, Adam?
That's HDCP
no,
error. No, it's not?
Nice try.
Okay.
It's the audio.
Oh, the audio stops. That's right.
Audio is the first thing to drop on purpose.
Okay.
Because audio has the most narrow window for the clock.
Okay.
And they do that on purpose. That's not like, oh man, why? What? It is to let you know there's a problem.
Got it.
Now, symptoms other than the audio dropout can be mode not supported, mode out of range, HDCP not supported.
Right.
Long time to sync. So you select your input and you wait and you check your clock, you go get a drink, maybe make a sandwich, and you're still waiting. And that's because it's not properly negotiating. Adam, what do you want to do today?
Well, I was. Is this? Are we going to lunch?
Yeah, no, I'm not buying your lunch.
Oh, okay. Well,
it's a rhetorical question in this case, but that's how electronics work.
Okay.
The source queries the display.
Okay.
And it asks it questions, and when those answers don't come back clearly and concisely, the source gets lost.
Okay.
Now, based on that, tell me, where do we typically install the JR3 in a job?
Well, you actually have a source device here, so
I do.
This is actually perfect. It's almost like we planned this or something.
It would be the first time.
Yeah, exactly. So on the source device, what we do is essentially we just go from here to here.
By the way, that's a source device that frequently needs a JR3.
Exactly. So on this is, of course, is a DirecTV box here. We have, or you can pretend this is just a regular cable box. You've got your HDMI output. Very simply, we're going to take the JR3 and see if I can hold it correctly here. We're going to take that and plug it into the output of the source device. Now, what this does, of course, is that just gives us a straight pass-through because we've got a male and a female end on that. It's actually reverse of that. But Then from there, we just plug in our HDMI cable here and continue on as though there's nothing else there.
Now, why do we plug it at the source device?
Because EDID is more importantly being sent from the display device back to the source, because the display is trying to tell the source what it's capable of.
Yes, it is. And the failure typically happens
in that direction.
On the return path, not the outgoing path. Most sources are quite capable of sending a strong signal.
Yes.
They really are, because the assumption is it's going to go through a long cable, maybe an AVR, something else.
Yep.
The displays, however, their assumption is it's within 3 feet of the source.
Yeah.
So it's not going to work overly hard to get the data back.
Right.
So having the ability to repair it on the return path, now that's probably 98% of the jobs. As soon as I say that's the answer, somebody will say, yes, but this happened to me where I had to go with the TV side. It does.
Yep.
But how many calls have you taken on that one?
Enough. More than enough. Because the thing is that honestly, the EDID failures, they happen a lot. And in fact, I would almost guarantee that every person who has had to deal with HDMI on a daily basis, even the average consumer, has run into an EDID failure of some kind.
Absolutely. In fact, one of the things as a CI, I build a Junior 3 into all the jobs I do at the matrix or at the source.
Yep.
Because I don't want to have to go back. I'd rather put it in the job. It's a reasonably priced preventive maintenance tool.
Yes.
And that to me is what this is, along with saving my hiney because I'm not having to go back and forth for road calls.
Yep.
I don't get the call from the client saying there's a problem.
Well, and it also solves a lot of issues with like speeding up the switching of inputs.
Yes, it does, which makes your customer happy.
We have, I would use this in applications where you have a projector, especially with a projector, and an AVR of some kind or a matrix, because the projectors are notorious for taking an extra amount of time to switch sources. And it's not just because it's a projector, it's really because the projector has a lot of EDID things happening. And so what this does here in those applications is it speeds that process up and for the switching.
If we're talking on the phone, and this happens a lot because I'm out of the office and we're trying to have conversations, and you're dropping words and what'd you say, Brent? What'd you say, Brent?
Yep.
What'd you say, Brent? It takes a lot longer for us to determine what we're trying to get to than if you could just hear me and we could get it done.
Yep.
The exact same thing happens in EDID.
Yes.
So, the HDM-JR3 should be in your toolbox, and don't have just one.
Yeah, you should have multiple, and you should quote this into your jobs. Reach out to your representative or your sales rep, reach out to your distributor, find out availability and pricing on it. The JR3 is out and it's available.
It's simple, it's easy to use, it requires no power.
Nope, runs right off the HDMI bus.
Plug it right in and you go. Now it's a filter, so it doesn't even draw power.
Correct,
What it really is a filter.
Yep. Dropping
now,
the
on the Kaleidoscape,
yes,
because we mentioned that earlier.
Yes, we did.
Kaleidoscape's a little bit different, and before anybody says no, Kaleidoscape is not wrong.
Correct.
Because EDID does not have a fixed standard for voltage swing down.
Yes.
Now what this means is EDID, like any digital signal, has a high and a low, as we mentioned early on.
Brent, would you draw me a graph?
Ooh, I get to draw?
You get to draw a graph.
Okay.
I'll give you the
thank you.
shot there. Go for it.
Okay, Adam, so when we're looking at EDID data, there's ones and zeros. Now, according to Philips, 30 plus years ago when they established basic EDID formats, anything above 4.7 volts can be considered a high or a 1. However, in their infinite wisdom, they did not establish a fixed value for a 0. Now, this is a problem, and the reason this is a problem is a lot of devices consider 0.9 volts 0. So, and that's a pretty low dip. So you got highs, and then you got lows. But Kaleidoscape, the chip they use, does not recognize 0.9 because it's not a mandatory value. They go to 0.6 volts to be recognized as a 0. This is a problem anytime you put any active cable into the system. Whether it's fiber, copper, doesn't matter. Almost all active electronics only go to 0.9 because that is the accepted 0. Built into the JR3 is a voltage comparator which takes it actually down to 0.4 volts. So we are well below the standard that's recognized by the chipset that's used in the Kaleidoscape. This will make your Kaleidoscape systems, we're not supposed to say K-scape.
Yep.
Much more reliable. And again, it's an inexpensive, great tool to have, and it fixes a lot of problems. Please have it on you.
Yeah, so this is a part that we recommend having on the truck with you. Have multiples on the truck. This should be in your troubleshooting bag as well.
Your first go-to.
It should be probably well, it's because it's the easiest thing, because you just unplug the HDMI cable that's there, plug this in, plug the HDMI cable into the back of it.
No nothing, you're done.
And a lot of times it's going to solve the problem.
Yep.
And you can move on.
Without, we've got the AIO, we've got other repair tools, which are fantastic.
Yep.
But if this solves your problem, less money, easier installation, and you're gone.
Well, and especially now with the JR3 version of this system, it's very reasonably priced. And so
very small.
It's very small. You put it into the system and you're good to go. Again, reach out to your sales rep, find out from your distributor about availability and price. It is out and available as far as we know at this time, but definitely check with them to find out availability and pricing on it, and how you can get your hands on one as well. It also will be coming in a kit along with the AIO2.
Right, I've seen the kit that's got the AIO2, the GA1.
The GA2. And the SP3.
And the SP3.
Yep, it's going to come in a kit with that as well. So check out that kit as well, and contact your sales rep again and your distributor about tracking that down. I believe there's a little bit of promotional pricing on the kit as well.
Awesome.
So, everybody.
I'm Brent.
I'm Adam. Thanks for checking out the episode today.
Reboot early.
Reboot often.
Don't cut your wires too short.
And call tech support.
Don't forget to turn off CEC.
Turn off CEC.
Have a great day.
We'll see y'all.